Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to another Daily Dice. We asked the dice for a message and find out what that is. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you, and for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if I have the hiccups, if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are truly new here, we do things a little bit differently around this channel, so I do suggest buckling in, hanging on, and we're going to find out together. With that, today we did have a channeled message coming in. Someone's been trying to manifest you back into your life. We're going to find out a little bit more about this situation and what's going on with that. I'm going to be using the Wild Soul Oracle deck today. I bring this out quite a bit. I absolutely love this deck. So let's get into it and find out. Source, what would you like to tell us about this person that's been trying to manifest my fellow humans back into their life? What would you like to come through today? Someone's been trying to manifest them back into their lives. So what would you like to say today, Source? Okay, thank you. What would you like to say today? Alright. What Wild Soul Animal Oracle card is going to help us better understand the situation of this person who's been trying to manifest my soul tribe back into their life? My tribe here, what do they need to know? Okay, it's that one. I do feel like this one needs to come out too, so we're gonna let it. On the bottom, wow, we have the wasp with anger. And also this makes me feel like of one of my other animal decks that talks about the sometimes life stings with the wasp card. So this may be someone that you're actually really angry with. This may be someone that you are just like, nope, I'm not going back into their life. I don't want anything to do with them. This could also be someone that left you and was angry with you due to certain things, certain reasons that had happened or unfolded. Okay, so take it as it resonates, remembering that energy is fluid. So take your side of the story. Let's find out some more. Source, what would you like to talk to us today about this person trying to manifest my fellow humans back into their life? What would you like to come through today? What would you like to say about this person that's been trying to manifest my fellow humans back into their life? Okay, yeah, so we've got the 5th house, we've got Aquarius energy, and we've got Mercury energy. This is someone that you could have had a relationship with, but not like a serious relationship with, is what this feels like. You could have dated this person, and it might have been an on-again, off-again situation. I really get that feeling like this is in and out type energy. Maybe you wanted something more serious with this person, but they weren't ready to give that to you. And it doesn't have to be that you dated this person. It could have been that maybe you wanted to date this person, or that you wanted something more serious with this person, but they were holding you at arm's length. And they didn't ever invite you into their energy like that. I do feel like this person is very detached, and they treated you with indifference. And sometimes the coldest thing in the world is to be treated with indifference, because you don't have any idea where you stand, except that this person doesn't care enough to include you in their life. They're indifferent to it. You do, you don't, like there's no, I'm going to fight for you. There's no, I'm going to put forth the effort for you. It's basically just being completely detached from the entire situation, or disassociated from the entire situation because of fear of either making a decision, or of just plain not knowing what they want, or this energy of being confused and letting their confusion be the thing that's leading you on, right? Sometimes there's a lot of different scenarios that come through, and not everybody is trying to hurt everyone else, but we always have to remember that as the human collective, hurt people do hurt people, and sometimes, yes, that is intentional. But I do feel like this was more confusion than anything else. It's like, well, where do I stand at? How do you feel about me? I've told you how I felt. What do you want? And so I do feel like the anger that's coming through could be from you. And it's this energy of, why would I want them in my life, or why would I want to be part of their life when they literally gave me nothing? And again, no matter what comes out in the readings, it is always up to you to use your intuition and your discernment to decipher what is the best situation for you. But it does feel like this person does want to communicate something to you. Maybe they're in a better place than they were before, where they were having trouble trying to communicate how they felt. Or I'm getting this energy because I keep seeing something getting shoved down. It's like, not that they didn't care about you, they did. But every time those emotions began to come up to the surface, they did everything within their power to shove those emotions down, which put them into this place of being indifferent, which put them into this place of being cold towards you, when all you wanted was an answer. I feel like this person didn't give you an answer, and they've been reflecting on that, and now they want to come forward and communicate with you about how they feel. They may come through asking you to go out with them. That may happen for some of you, not for everyone. I feel like more than anything, this person just wants to come through and say, hey, I didn't realize exactly what my actions were doing to you. And they're trying to take some sort of accountability for how they showed up. You know, it could be that that happened to them. Maybe they wanted someone to give them an answer. They were ready to, you know, settle down with someone. They were ready to put forth the energy, the effort, and someone did them the same way that they did you. And that might be why they're feeling this way now, because they see, wow, I did that to you, and now I know how it feels. And it's not that you're second choice. That's not what this is. It's literally that I feel like when you presented how you felt to this person, and this could even be a friend or someone you wanted to partner up with. It could be family member too. It's one of those, like, when you presented how you felt to this person, they were unable to receive it. There was a huge block for them to receive what it was that you were offering them. And does that make it okay the way they treated you? No. It's simply stating that this person was not in a place where they had the capacity to open themselves up to your love, which hurts, absolutely. But at the same time, it also is a blessing, because it shows us that we don't have to sit around and continue to put in effort where we're not being received. But let's find out some more, because I feel like Source has a deeper message that wants to come through. So Source, what more would you like to tell us about this situation, this someone who's been trying to manifest my fellow humans back into their life? I do feel like they've never found anybody or met another person that's like you, and they thought that there were going to be other people out there. Maybe they meet a lot of people, or they network really well, and they really thought that they would find you. Not that you're a dime a dozen. It's not that at all. They just figured that for the amount of people that they've met in their life, that the chances of coming across you or another one of you would be at least one other chance, but no one they've ever met has even compared to you. What else would you like to say? Yeah, it just really feels like they... So I just heard my guide say, doo, doo, doo. Like, this is something that comes up when it's like, I really biffed it, or I really dropped the ball, or I really messed up, and I acted like a doofus. Like, so they were like, doo, doo, doo. And that's what it felt like. This person really was just acting like a doofus, and they didn't realize that the true impact of their actions. And oftentimes a lot of people don't. Yeah, self-sabotage. And maybe that's the other thing. They thought you were going to stick around for forever. And when you didn't, it shocked them. And they're like, oh, that's okay. Like, I'll find another person that's like them. And you know, we can go further, or we can do something more. And that's not to make you mad. I mean, we already have the the anger here with the loss, that's not to make you more mad than you already have been. I do feel like this person didn't understand the depth of your genuine intention until it was too late. And this could be a situation that's too little too late, right? Yeah. We've got the Page of Cups on the bottom. This person definitely was not emotionally mature. They really believed that maybe you weren't as sincere as you were, or that there were other people out there who would be just as sincere as you. And now they're realizing that most people mirror them the way that the way that they showed up and mirrored towards you. And when I say mirrored towards you, I feel like that was because you were giving so much to this person and not giving it to yourself, right? And I feel like it created a deficit in your spiritual bank. You really gave this person and wanted them to see how much you loved them or cared about them or believed in them. And at the end of the day, they just shrugged it off and were like, well, whatever. And it's like, you don't realize how much I care about you, how much I see that you're capable of going the miles, going the distance. Yeah, they were non-committal at this time that this happened. They really believed that just because they weren't ready for you then, that when they became ready, that you would come back around, or that they would be able to replace you. And you're irreplaceable, right? You're irreplaceable. To the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Right? So you kept on moving. You said, all right, you're going to pack up my stuff and put me to the left. I'm going to keep on moving, because you're going to realize the one thing: I'm irreplaceable. Nobody loves the way that I do. Nobody cares about people the way that I do. Nobody shows up the way that I do. And it's not about being arrogant. It's because you experience the same thing. You've been looking for someone your entire life to be similar to you. Not you, but similar to you. And out of all the people that you've met, it's rare, right? You're realizing how rare it is to be someone who's spiritual, who's genuine, who's open, who's loving, who's compassionate and kind. Most people wear these ridiculous masks that are so elaborate that they distract us from this person's intentions or this person's ulterior motives. You didn't have that elaborate of a mask. Yes, you still wore a mask because there's healing to be done. And when there's healing to be done, we're all wearing a mask. But you know what? You picked up a paper plate, put a smiley face on it, and said, this is my mask. Like, y'all, I'm pretty genuine behind this mask. And everybody is, but everybody spends so much time perfecting the mask. And I feel like for you, your mask was just making sure no one knew that you were going through it. Always having a smile on your face, always being happy-go-lucky, or always being positive or upbeat. No one really knows your backstory. And the people that do, the only reason that they do know it is because they're people that you can trust. And I can tell you, it really feels like a small circle. If it's more than one person, I would be surprised. But lucky for you, if you've got more than one person, what a blessing indeed. This is just this energy where this person really was stuck from a past situation and they kept repeating that pattern. And I do feel like you came into their life to trigger them into healing that. And it's unfortunate that you also got the blunt end of it from them, because, you know, even though many of us are triggers for other people, and people are triggers for us too, we don't recognize that sometimes even in that triggering, we still get hurt, right? We still get brokenhearted, or we still get shown that there's something more that we have to learn about ourselves. And I feel like you need to know that this is not a situation that you brought on yourself. You know, we do talk about how we manifest everything in our lives, and sometimes it's very subconscious. Sometimes it is something that is so hardwired, or it is something that is so mirroring of a past situation. We don't even actually know that it's coming on, but sometimes a storm is just a storm. They appear too. And that's what I feel like Source is wanting you to know about this person. Always use your intuition. It will ultimately be up to you. You have free will. Source is not going to say, don't go to this person, or you better get with this person. That is not how Source works. That is not how our guides work. That is not how our angels work. They will guide us, but they will never make us do something, because ultimately at the end of the day, we've been given free will to choose as we see fit. And they'll help us get to the best option available, but they're not there to take away our decisions from us. And that's what Source is saying. Like, this is something that you have to figure out for yourself. But you can absolutely ask what the best option is for you, because every one of you are in a different situation. This person was in a very low point in their life when you came into their life. They could be a Taurus, they could be a Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Leo. You could have Taurus, North Node, South Node, Taurus in the 10th house, Taurus rising. Oh, okay. Sagittarius and Jupiter. You could have Sagittarius in the 9th, 3rd, or 6th house. Okay. Don't want to spend all day. And if you don't have any of those, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not your message. Okay, so let's get some more information out here, Source. I feel like I need 2 of these today. What else would you like to say? Yeah. On the bottom of the deck, we've got fixed. Yeah, Taurus. Yeah, Taurus energy here. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. Stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. This could be someone who really believed that time equaled loyalty, and they realized that it wasn't. I feel like this person definitely got, you could say they got their karma, but I feel like they ended up going through a lot of hardships because of them not believing that you were a genuine person. And it doesn't have really anything to do with your energy, like, oh, they messed with you and they're going to get it. No, it's literally because they were praying for someone like you. And then when you showed up, they didn't receive their blessing. And because of that, they had to go and start over with the cycle again and learn all of these other lessons that they didn't learn the first time when they were praying for you. And now they know that you were an answer to their prayer, but it's still been really difficult for them to own up to their own actions. And I feel like that's what they've really been doing this whole time, is really trying to own up to their actions and understand the part that they played. We've got on the bottom, choose foods wisely. Help yourself and the planet by reconsidering what you eat. And this could be someone that is really taking in a lot of toxic material. They could really follow newscasts all the time or conspiracy podcasts. This could be someone who really puts a lot of time and energy and effort into things that are very negative, right? They could have an addiction. They could have a food addiction. They could have alcoholism, a drug addiction, a sex addiction. This, when the food card comes out, yes, it can talk about food, but this also really is a feeling of something that's physically hindering us, something that is very physical in this world. I can touch, taste, see, and hear it, that's hindering us from obtaining what it is that we desire. And I feel like Source is also reminding you to be wise about how you're treating your own body. There could be a lingering energy of resentment or pain and guilt or hurt or shame, or even that anger coming back through when it comes to this person. And when that gets triggered, you could very well lose connection with yourself or lose grounding with yourself and go into an old habit that is toxic for you. Okay, on the bottom we have, worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. This is also another energy that's coming in that Source is saying, don't sit and worry about when or if this person is going to come in. This is just something that is basically, put this in your back pocket, right? I'm going to put this in my back pocket. Do you carry a token in your wallet? What a weird question to ask, Source. Sorry, that was just so random. It came out. Yeah, like, that's good. I carry a token in my wallet. And so that's funny that they were just asked that so randomly. But it's like that. Put it in your wallet and don't think about it anymore. It's just there. So it's like in the back of your mind. But it's like, this is putting it in your back pocket or in the back of your mind. Like, okay, it's a potential. This could potentially happen. It's going to come up. But I'm not going to sit here and worry about it, because I feel like you know exactly who this person is. But when this person's energy comes up in readings, or when this person's energy comes up even in your intuition, you could very well really just run yourself ragged by worrying about what this person's going to do, how they're going to impact you, how they're going to show up when it comes to you. And Source is saying that's not healthy at all. And that really want you to be in a place of healthy, grounded, stable energy, which I know is easier said than done. Okay, so these two flipped over. We've got Aries, blaze new trials, okay? Staying empowered as well with this Aries energy, right? Aries is the very first part of the zodiac wheel. They start the zodiac wheel. It's spring energy. Spring comes in with a big bang. It's a very huge type of energy, an explosive energy, really. And Source is saying to continue blazing new trails for yourself. Continue focusing on your journey. Don't focus on this person, but it's okay, because we want to also, in some ways, warn you about this as well, so that you know when it comes up, right? And when it comes up, you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to overreact. I don't have to be upset about this anymore. I've already dealt with this, and I know now that I can just listen to my intuition. I don't have to let my mind take over, which is easier said than done. I know. We have Cardinal, yeah. Bright new beginnings ahead. So Source is reminding you that there's a huge new beginning for you ahead, and this person is not going to stop that new beginning. And it's just reminding you to stay positive about your life right now. Pluto, go all in, baby. Yeah. And Pluto is a planet of death and rebirth and healing, dealing with our subconscious. So again, I feel like this is that reminder that this has been something that has been playing over and over again in your life on a very subconscious level, and you've been healing it. And now is the time for you to focus on yourself rather than focusing on other people. Or like, say this is a date, right? We have the 5th house here. Say this is someone that you wanted to date. Instead of focusing on dating someone, focus on yourself and focus on getting yourself grounded in your own energy and solid with yourself first. And then trust that things are going to happen, and spend time with your guides and Source and ask, like, what's the best option, or what are the best options for me to move forward when I'm ready to date? And they'll help you with that, right? So just focusing on the options that are available to you. What's showing under that? The Sun. Okay, and the North Node under that. We have shine, sparkle, and steal the spotlight. That's right. You don't have to live in the dark anymore. And maybe this person was making you feel like you weren't good enough to shine, or maybe they were really playing havoc on your self-worth and your self-confidence, and you're not in that energy anymore. Wow, this is a lot. Okay, so I'm going to take these. I wasn't going to, but I just really feel like I need to. On the bottom, yeah, we have space. Coming into this safe space. Right? And this is such an interesting card, because it's literally making space for yourself, right? Making space for yourself to exist. And that's what Source is reminding you. Take up space. Don't be afraid to take up space. Square. Look, a challenging situation, a mountain to climb. This has been a very difficult situation. That's why the worry card came out on the bottom of the deck over here, because this is something that's been very hard for you to overcome. It's been very hard for you to get through. There's a lot of worry, like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? What else could I have done to make it better? What else could I have done to make it easier? So here's the thing, none of that would have mattered. No matter how you showed up, everything would have been the same. So stop worrying about what you coulda, shoulda, woulda, and focus on what can you do right now to stay grounded within yourself. House 2. Look, I cannot make this up. What was I just saying? Your self-confidence, your self-esteem. We have physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. Yeah, this person was really playing havoc on your self-worth. They really made you feel a certain way about yourself. And that's why they're saying don't worry about whether or not this person is going to manifest you back into their life. The truth is that even if you ever were to cross paths with them again, you've become an entirely different person, and you're going to know exactly what the right way is to show up for you. And trusting that you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be held. You deserve to be supported. And you don't have to dim your light for anybody. Not even someone that you love this deeply or that have this much emotion for. Even if there is a lot of anger charged here, you don't have to dim your light for anybody. Third wave of ascension. The third wave children are the hope of the world. And this is such an interesting card here too, because it's just showing like, not only are you ascending, but you're bringing hope to the world. I do feel like you're going to help the world heal the heart chakra, because this is something that has forced you to heal the heart chakra. Forgiveness came out. Wow, look at that. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. I know this person hurt you, and I know it hurt really bad. And really, you know, we talk about how forgiveness is setting ourselves free, which is the truth, and it is. And until you do it, it's hard to imagine how forgiving someone for their transactions or their transgressions, we'll get there, for their transgressions against you. How is that ever going to set me free? But until you get to that point and you're ready to do it, it's hard to convince someone who's not ready to let go. However, I do want to say this. If this is resonating with you, then the first place to start with is forgiveness of self. Because if we cannot forgive ourselves, we cannot and will not ever come into a place where we can freely forgive another person. And so it feels like Source is reminding you, instead of starting with this person, start with where you feel shame, where you feel guilt in showing up with this. And we already saw that with the worry cards. So we know it's there. It's an underlying energy. How can you forgive yourself and truly forgive yourself and say, it's okay. I showed up the best way that I could. And I showed up with the information that I had, and I did what I could in that moment. And it ended up the way that it was. But I forgive myself so that I can free my own heart from the chains of hardships that I'm putting on it. Start there and then focus on forgiving others. Anxiety. Yeah, this causes you a lot of anxiety. Already there's been a lot of worry about this situation. There's already been a lot of emotions that have come up in regards to this situation, because it's not an easy situation, and there's a lot of underlying feelings that are here. This is very charged. This is a very charged reading. This is a very charged emotion that's coming from this reading from you. And they're saying here, there's the reason for those charges is that's where your healing's at. But that we're not going to leave you in those places for long. We're also asking you to face those parts of yourself. So if there's an emotion that's coming up, can you sit with that emotion and let it work its way through? Right? You're safe. Creating that safe space. Creating that safe space to heal this emotion. Look, sadness. Now I know why they wanted me to take all of these. Now we see why. We're seeing a bigger part of the picture coming through. Consciousness. This is a part of your healing journey. Okay, this is something that you decided as a soul to do before being manifested here in the physical. But there's a lot of fear that's coming up to go through that door. And I feel like the reason the fear is here is because there's a part of you that identifies with how you feel about this situation, right? The anxiety, the sadness, the worry, the upset, the anger that's coming in as well. A part of you identifies with that. So it's like if somebody mentions this person's name, all of those emotions come up together, and that's the identity that's holding on. That's your emotional ego saying, we can't let go because this is who we are. And that's the fear that's talking. And to face our fear, in fact, I actually posted this on today's community board. When to face our fear, to have courage, right? To have courage to face our fear is not without fear. It is to take action while the fear is still there. We don't know what the other side is going to bring for us, but we know it's going to be better, more aligned, more peaceful, more at ease than what we're experiencing when we are letting fear control us. It's not meant to be easy. Although the steps to getting there are simple, it's not easy. But with practice, patience, and space, you will get there. Let's take a look at your cards. I'm going to read these from the book. Wow, this was an intense reading. Evolution. What was I saying? This is a part of your ascension journey. Evolution. This is a part of you evolving to a higher version of yourself, or a more aligned version of yourself, letting go of the ego and coming into the soul. And that is not an easy journey. I don't care who you are. No one comes out running and flying out like, oh, the ascension journey is easy. Oh, this is easy. Trust me, we're all human and we all are pros at resisting it. Okay, so don't feel like you're alone in this, because you're not. It says, the butterfly symbolizing the transformation and growth. Also that Pluto energy that was coming through represents the power of change. Emerging from its cocoon, the butterfly reminds us that evolution is a natural and necessary part of life. This card signals that you're undergoing or approaching a period of change and personal development. Embrace the process, knowing that this transformation will lead to new beginnings. Embrace your evolution, let go of the old, and welcome in the new with openness and trust. Trust in the process. And in the reverse, it says, you may be resisting change, clinging to old habits. Consider if, I can't make this up, consider if fear of the unknown is holding you back from growth. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Source. And the questions for you to ask yourself are, what transformation am I undergoing? Am I resisting necessary changes? And how can I embrace my evolution fully? Okay, and let's see what this other card is. The beetle, adaptation. Look at how closely related these energies are here, right? The wings open, one on the back, one on the front. This also feels like the opening of the heart. Look, she's wearing this green dress here, and I was saying, I feel like you're bringing healing to the collective, helping the collective heal the heart. And you have the butterfly on the back, which is oftentimes that symbol of getting stabbed in the back. The butterfly is preventing you from getting stabbed in the back, while the beetle is helping you to adapt and open your heart to the world once again, which is very difficult. If you're a loving person and you've been jaded so many times in this life, opening our heart chakra is very hard, and it's easy to close off and become cynical and disconnected and to live in this place of anger. And you can see how different this energy is from these two energies, right? Both of them have a light crown on their head. They're both taking up the whole card, whereas she's very small and she's flying on this massive wasp. Okay, and it goes to show that the anger that we're feeling is much smaller than how our ego is presenting it to us, because the ego is like all consuming. Oh, this anger, it's all consuming. This is who you are. But when we actually put it into perspective, we see it's much smaller than we think, and that we're much greater than those parts of ourselves that are disconnecting us from our spirit and disconnecting us from our higher selves. Let's check out what Beetle says. And isn't this interesting? You got the butterfly and the beetle both starting with a B. Maybe this person's name starts with a B, or your name starts with a B, and that's a very specific message that's coming in. And if you feel like all the cards are like this, they're really not. Okay, they're really not. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna show you a bunch of these real quick. Look at this. Look at how different these are. None of them are like these two right here. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's this energy that's very clear here. There's a very synchronistic energy as to why both of these came out together. And the reason being is because it has to do directly with your heart chakra. Okay? So let's see what the beetle says. Go to the beetle. Adaptation. Number 5. 5 is an uncomfortable place of change. It says beetles are the masters of adaptation, thriving in various environments with their hard exoskeletons and resourceful nature. This card signifies the need to adapt to changing circumstances. The beetle teaches that flexibility and resilience are the key to survival. It encourages you to find creative solutions and to use your strengths to navigate through life's challenges. It says adapt to the changes around you with creativity and resourcefulness. Flexibility is your strength right now. The reverse, it says adaptation is not always the answer. You may be bending too much, losing your identity or your values in the process. Stand firm in what truly matters to you. Your questions are, how can I adapt to the changes in my life? Am I compromising too much of myself? And what resources do I have to navigate this situation? And I love this because I feel like this is showing that there's a portion of your life where you did bend way too much for others. This person, we got that at the beginning of this reading, that you bent too much for this person. You gave this person too much of yourself. And now it's about protecting yourself and setting these boundaries and not letting the anger get the best of you. And reminding you that you learned a very valuable lesson here. And the lesson was that it's okay for you to love yourself. It is safe for you to love yourself. And letting go of that anger will help the anxiety, the sadness, the worry. It will help that all to reside. And it will start to bring you into this place of rising your consciousness to a higher level, letting in more light, and more importantly, letting in more love, which is always possible. Love is an infinite source. It's a well that we can tap into that is never ending. And it can always grow bigger, and it's completely boundless. And when we open ourselves up to this well of love, there's no telling to what heights it can take us. But as a human, we're often very resistant because it means that we have to step outside of our comfort zones and do the things that our ego says that we can't do, because this is how we protect ourselves, is living in this place of fear. But if you step back for a minute, you're going to begin to see that the fear is actually what's driving a lot of these emotions that make you feel like you have to keep yourself small and contained in a box that you don't even fit in to begin with. Okay? Oh my goodness. Here's a big, 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 big hug for you. You're doing such an amazing job. All right, I love you, and I'm truly honored that I got to do this reading for you today. And if you made it to the end, I'm just going to give you a round of applause, because this was a difficult reading, okay? And it's not easy to sit through these readings, but to do that means that your soul is ready and that you consciously are ready to receive this. And that's a very powerful thing indeed. So if you feel like this is your reading, leave the butterfly, and I don't know if there's a beetle. I think there is. You could choose a ladybug, because I think a ladybug is technically a beetle. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you can leave the butterfly and the beetle below and say, I choose to tap into the infinite well of love, knowing that my potential is boundless, and it can bring me to heights I've never soared before. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, for coming together to give us this intense, powerful, and amazing message. And until next time, know that I love you and know that I see you. And remember that you are doing an incredible job and you are so powerful. Stay human. Bye.